1 2 1 2. Okay. Microphone. Just doing a quick little sound check. We are live. This is TIMS Tuesday, aka This Is My Story. We're gonna wait a few minutes as the people start to come in and pop out for this episode 4 of TIMS Tuesday. As you come in, if you could hear the music, testing out the what's up, pocket full of sunshine? What up, little mama? Can you hear me? Perfect. Want to make sure that the mic is working today. I got my headphones on. The headphones are already working. I hear that. So we got this is all good news so far. Last week we had a little technical difficulties. I started with the setup and then I had to take it down because it was a technical issue on my end. I just forgot to plug something in. Junior, what up? What up? If you in here, tap the screen. Mr. Cheese, what up? Mr. Cheese, I got your favorite person in the world on today. Awakening Faith, what it do? Y'all like the theme music? This is the theme music. TIMS Tuesday. I like it because it kind of has like a little turn up part. It's gonna turn up. Here it goes. A little turn up. I know she's your favorite person. I'm gonna make sure that when she pops in, as soon as she gets in, I saw she's already here, so she might as well just get that out the way now. You might as well mute him. Do a little bop for him real quick, because what is it without the bop? Hey, there it is. 5-second bop. What would it be without the 5-second bop? DJ Joker, what up? What's good? I'm gonna give it a few minutes, just a few more minutes. You know what? Let's tap the screen. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Then we can get started. I'll bring my guest up. This is episode 4 of TIMS Tuesday. This is my story. I got a very special guest. Hey, I love it, man. Like, the intro is great. Like, but this is the part I like the most. Hey, that's the turn up part right there. I gotta figure out what's gonna be my emoji. Like, what's gonna be the emoji that we could drop when I know y'all ready to get the show started. You know, my sister got the crystal balls, so if you checked in on her series before, you know she drops crystal balls when she knows that you guys are ready. I need to come up with an emoji. Drop some emojis. Let's see what emoji hits. Let's drop a couple of emojis. We have 4 or 5 likes right now. Let's get up to 1,000. Is that a boot? Mr. Cheese, is that a hiking boot? What is that? I like the microphone, actually. That microphone is dope. I like that one. That fits. Kind of. What else we got? All right, if that's the one. If it's going to be the mics, drop some mics now. What up? Go ahead and share the live. This is episode 4 of TIMS Tuesday. We have 405 likes now. We need to tap that screen. If you in here, we got 7 people in here. Let's tap the screen. Why I don't see my lights going on? Okay, I see it starting to move now. It's moving. I'm the biggest bird. Okay, let's see. We got a whole list of emojis here. We got a panda, we got a plant, we got some stars. That Jupiter? No, that's Saturn. It got rings. Any of those? What kind of music do you play? I'm not DJing actually, so I'm just playing my theme music right now. This is a interview type series. I'm gonna have my guest coming up in just a little bit. I'm waiting till them likes get to 1,000. We're almost there. I'm at 612 right now. And then I'm going to bring my guest up for this week. This is TIMS Tuesday. This is episode 4. I'm going to go ahead and start turning this down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. We at 683 right now. We got to keep tapping that screen. We're almost to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. Cracking 700 right now. Let's see if my guest is still in the building. I want to make sure we ready to go. Yes, she is. All right, I got a goal. I got a subscription goal, and I also have a gift goal. So feel free to tap in throughout the live for that. Oh, okay. I appreciate you tapping in while you're at work and listening in. We are at 1,000 likes officially. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest up right now. Let's go ahead and bring up. So, matter of fact, let me do a quick little introduction. So when I first got to TikTok and I first started to, tap in with new people, and I found a couple of different groups that I kind of like gravitated to. This individual was part of one of those groups, and she was very welcoming. She was very cool. Like her personality was just what stood out to me. And that's probably what really brought me, to that group and like attracted me to this group of people. And throughout, the ups and downs and everything else that's gone on since I've been on TikTok and really, making an effort to grow here on TikTok. She's been down with the movement and what my goal was to do here on TikTok. So I'm very happy that she was willing to do this. She has her own series that she started and officially like really kicking off, coming up real soon. So I'm going to bring her up and let her tell her story. This is my story Tuesday, Tim's Tuesday. Without further ado, let's bring up Crystalina86. Little claps. Clap it up. Look, I got to do a couple of these. Crystal, what's up? Where you at? There you are. There she is. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, you dig?
Feeling the vibe. Look at the vibe with the hair and
You know
the.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
I had to do it nice. You know what I mean? When I come in
see
here,
that.
you know what I mean?
I love it. It's dope. Awesome.
What's up?
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you perfect. You can
All
hear
right,
me
cool.
good?
I want to make sure that I hear you good as well, which I turned my headphones up and now I think we're good. So what's up?
What's going on, buddy?
Man, chilling. I was
All right.
pretty excited for this.
I'm a little nervous.
You nervous? That's okay.
Your girl's a little nervous.
Remember, it's just me and you. We cool. Like you don't gotta be nervous.
And whoever's in the room.
Right, that's true. I mean, who's in the room? It's all our people. It's family in here. It's like we're having a conversation and the whole family's watching. That's all. None of it. No big deal.
Man, I get it.
So, Crystal, I guess you already said you're nervous a little bit, but
a little bit.
How did you feel when I first asked you about doing this? What was your initial thought? Like, what came to mind?
What came to mind? First of all, I was honored. Okay. Second of all, I'm like, why would anybody want to listen to me speak and hear what I have to say? Because, sometimes your girl can be a little off the wall.
Okay, that's true. Could be, but that's part of the reason why I thought it made sense to bring you on to the series.
Right. Aw, thanks, buddy.
I mean, and I think that's one of the things that we've talked about in the past is your personality is what I think attracts people to your lives. Like that's what it is. It's your personality. So I think I'm going to kind of open the door for you. Like this is about your story. So what is it that you would like to share about your story? Like what makes Crystal?
I don't know. I think the fact that I'm just genuine, you know what I mean? And it's like, when you're around me, I just want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel safe. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a regular girl from New York City.
Okay, so you're from New York. I know you have like a saying that you always say, like when somebody asks you where you from, hit us with that saying. What is the saying?
All right, you ready? Brooklyn made me, but Queens raised me.
There we go. Okay, so all right, let's talk about that a little bit. So you're in Brooklyn first, and then you go to Queens. So what takes you from Brooklyn to Queens?
Well, basically, my parents wanted to get the hell out of Brooklyn. So
Okay.
they decided to move us to Queens, and
So
then
so
that's
for us Jersey people and people around the world and the millions of people watching, not now but one day, right? So
right,
we think of New York, we think of the five boroughs, right? That's
right.
and then we think Brooklyn, Queens. For some of the outsiders, we don't really know the difference between Brooklyn and Queens. So tell us a little bit, what is the difference between Brooklyn and Queens from somebody who was born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens?
I mean, to be honest with you, I just find us to be real people. Like what you see is what you get. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So like it's like whether it was like sitting outside on the stoop in the summertime, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with at the pump, all that other stuff. Like all that stuff does happen. It really does.
Okay.
That dirty ass pump. Yes, your girl was in it.
That's where you was getting when it was hot, they was opening up the pump
Right,
and you was getting in there.
right. And then my parents became bougie and bought a pool, but we still had the pump.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
You had like the build it yourself pool, or like
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
a yeah.
yeah. Build it yourself. You're right.
Okay.
You're right
No, but
on
I'm
that.
but I mean that's a come up from fire hydrant and like
Right. We came up. You know what I mean? I
and then
think they
when you
got
moved
tired
to
of
Queens, you
watching
ain't
us.
have a stoop no more. You had a porch.
I had stoops.
You
Your
had stoop
girl,
still in Queens
yeah,
too.
your girl was chilling on the stoop. That's where you'll always find me on the stoop.
Okay. So all right. So what age did you go from Brooklyn to Queens?
Um, young age. Basically, I was raised in Queens. You know what I
Okay.
mean? The origin of me and my family is in Brooklyn, but my parents wanted to make a better life and move us to Queens. But it was always, I was always in Brooklyn on the weekends, whether it was
Okay.
in Park Slope, whether it was in Greenpoint, whether it was here, whether it was, you know what I mean? Like, so basically, that's how it went.
Okay. So we get the move happens from Brooklyn to Queens. Now you're in
Right.
Queens. What do you notice, or like what is your first memories of Queens and like being what changed for you? Like I know your parents thought it was gonna be better, but was it actually better for you coming up in Queens? Like did you feel
To
the
be honest
difference?
with you, absolutely, because I feel like Queens is the most diverse borough in all of the boroughs. You know what I mean? Like it was we I grew up in a Caribbean neighborhood. I grew up, you know what I mean? Like we were one maybe the only white people on the block. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I grew up with diversity, you
Yeah.
know?
So I think that's one of the things that I initially thought that hearing your accent, your the way you talk, the way you like your mannerisms and things like that, I was always tossed up like is she Italian or is she like Puerto
Mhm.
Rican? Like is she like a
Mhm.
light skinned Dominican maybe? Like my
Right.
dad's wife is like the light skinned, like a white Dominican.
Right.
So I was kind of
Right.
like I don't know. She could be like when you have a New York accent, it's hard to figure that out, especially New York is a
Mhm.
melting pot. So I think that was
Exactly.
always like, and I feel like maybe other people probably feel the same way. So if you felt the same way, you could put it in the comments because I know for me that was the case. So do you get that a lot, like in real life, like off of TikTok as well?
Time.
Yeah,
All the time. All the time. And it's like it's not intentional, but I guess it's you know what I mean, it's facts and it's where I grew up. So it
it's
just
the swag, it's the like the style, like the
right.
chain you
It's
got on. You
not
know what I'm saying? It's like it's a
it's
different. I mean, even now I see a it looks like a Dominican flag in the background.
that's my daughter, please. Let's
That's it.
not
Okay.
discuss
No,
that.
but
You know what I
but
mean?
that isn't that kind of like the nature of like growing up in New York too is like you kind of adopt some of
Yes.
the habits and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like
Right.
talk to us a little bit about that because again I hear it sort of that it's almost like you're mixed, right? Like you're Italian but you have that so what were your friends like? What was that like for you?
I mean, to be honest with you, I was the only white girl in the group. Like I
So all
said,
Puerto
like
Ricans and Dominicans or what?
Puerto
Like what was the
Ricans,
mix?
Dominicans, blacks, you know what I mean, Trinis, all that. Because in Queens, like I said, it's a melting pot of people. It's just not one group. You know what I mean? And then it was like when I went to junior high school at the time, I went to it was predominantly black.
Oh, interesting.
So it was like
So okay.
bits and pieces
So
from
I
here to
look
there.
personally. I grew up in a town where everybody's majority is Latino, right? So we our like minority is normally like black and white. So it kind of sounds like it was like similar, but you were the minority in that school.
That's exactly how it went. In school, in my neighborhood, it was like that. Because
And
like I
what
said,
were there challenges being the minority, and it's weird because normally white is
No,
not the minority, so there was no challenges for you.
no, because to be honest with you, they always thought I was of Hispanic descent. Do you get what I'm
So you
saying? So
never
it
really had
was,
to clarify. It was just like
yeah, I never
roll with it.
really, yeah, I never really had to clarify because it was, you know what I mean?
Okay. So you mentioned in junior high, is that where you started school? Like in Queens, was junior high or
Yeah.
okay.
Queens is
So
basically my whole life.
so
It's
what is your
basically my
like
whole life.
hobbies at that time in Queens? Like what is a girl like you doing in school? Like what are your hobbies?
Well, I went to at the time of performing arts school in junior high school.
So
So
so you got some like hidden talents?
I mean, you know.
You got some hidden talents we're gonna see at some point, maybe today, maybe on the live.
Oh, absolutely not.
Ah, it's worth the shot though.
But you tried
I
it.
tried it. I it was
You
worth the shot.
tried it.
It was
No,
worth the shot.
yeah, I went to performing arts school basically. You know what I mean? Like I said, yeah, it was pretty dope. They did plays and stuff like that, but I was more into singing. And it's crazy because the performing arts school that I told you was like predominantly black. They had the regular anthem, and then not a lot of people know this. There's a black national anthem,
Yep.
like a black anthem, and we had to learn both.
Right.
And there wasn't cheerleading in my school; it was stepping. I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
knows what that
Yeah.
is.
I mean, my school and my community, like, there's a lot of, like I said, it's a big culture pot as well. Like, it's a big ass
Right,
melting pot. Like, there's all types of. So in high school, we had the same thing. Like, I mean, we had cheerleading because it wasn't a performing arts school, but
right.
we had all of that. We had the stepping, we had the cheerleading, and I was actually in a choir as well throughout high school. So for me,
Uh,
I also learned that, the national
yeah.
or the black anthem or national anthem, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But our choir director was black, and God rest his soul, but he was amazing. Like, he made sure that, like, we were all well versed all around.
Absolutely. And I think those things were what contributed to who I am. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Growing up in Queens and seeing that diversity, like it made me who I am. Like
So
I'm very accepting, very open.
is that school that you went to? It's a performing arts school, but did you continue through middle school into high school doing that as well? Like, was it
Nah,
also
I mean, me and high school didn't get along too well.
the challenges of high school?
Right. The
Okay.
challenges of high school. We didn't have a good relationship.
Okay.
I mean,
That's cool. I mean, that's part of
they
the
thought
story,
I
right?
was
Like, that's
going
what.
to school.
One of those.
Right.
I can't make it today.
You know what I'm
What were you
saying?
doing? What were you doing if when you weren't in school? What was the go to? Where were we kicking back
I
at?
mean, I was staying home because my mother went to work. My mother was a single parent after like my parents split up when I was about 13 years old. So then after that, you know what I mean? It was kind of like you're on your own. So
So that's got to be part of what makes you who you are, and like that personality, like the way you. I mean, I think one of the things that I've been able to have the pleasure or like the ability to see off of TikTok is that ability, like when you connect with people, it's like you
right,
make a connection, and is does that
right,
contribute, like your upbringing and your parents splitting and things like that, does that contribute to why you're that way?
absolutely. And honestly, like I feel like the real reason why I'm that way is because of the simple fact is that I know what it was like to be younger and to feel like they could trust adults, and then you confide in the adult, and then it turns into like the black gossip. So I remember how it felt to confide in somebody, and then it get like
Spread the word spreads.
spread. So I vowed to myself never to make somebody feel that way. So I always try to be a safe space for anybody that comes to talk to me and to confide in me.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that, because what I was talking about before when I first got to TikTok, and you're the group that you were with at the time,
Right,
was basically like my safe place, sort of. And
right,
it was, you were one of the first people that I kind of like, and I was in the comments. I wasn't even able to go live yet,
right,
but it always still kind of felt like that. Like you made that space feel safe, sort of, like, and it's weird
right.
because, like, it's weird to explain a platform like this to be like a safe space, but
Right.
it was like, I've been in and out of other lives at the time. I was trying to grow my page and I was trying to get to the point where I'm like, I could go live. But doing that, you have to go in and out of a bunch of different, lives and interacting with different people. But that I guess culture vibe that you personally created, and I feel like you still keep to your, keep with now and in your lives now.
Right.
What you're talking about, transfers over, right?
Exactly.
So that's cool. I like that.
Because
Okay,
honestly, I feel like I am who I am. And
yeah,
nobody and nothing's gonna change who I am. I'm a solid individual, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter who I'm with, it doesn't matter who I hang with, like you're gonna get what you're gonna get,
yeah, and I
you
think
know?
I could safely say that I could co-sign that because the person you are on TikTok and from what I've experienced off of TikTok, not that we've ever met in person,
Right.
but I could say that yeah, like the person you're getting here for everybody watching, if you don't ever have the pleasure of being able to interact with Crystal off of TikTok, you're gonna get that same person. Like
Right.
this is genuinely who she is. Like you can't the same way that sometimes you can't get a word in her life, it's gonna be the same thing in person. Like you're, she's gonna get her point across,
Right. You gonna listen to what
respectfully,
I have to say, respectfully.
respectfully. But at the end of the day, like you're still getting that genuine person that you see here on TikTok as well. So
Right.
I definitely appreciate that. Like that you're not one of those like one way here and then a whole another person that we're getting to experience it in somewhere else. Oh, that's a dope. Who was that? Colina.
You
That was dope, Colina.
thanks.
All right, so we talked about junior high. We talked about high school a little bit. We touched on that a little bit. Now, was there anything like I always think about high school as some of my personal experiences throughout high school, and I could definitely trace back things that I do now or experiences that I had in high school to why I do or don't do things currently. Is there any major turning points or things that happened to you in high school that you could go back to and be like, damn, that if that never happened or anything like that?
No, because like I told you, me in high school didn't have a real relationship, you see? Like I knew where it was. Now did
Yeah.
I go? No.
Okay. So what
Do
happens
I
after high
regret it?
school?
Yes.
Did you what?
Regret it? Yes.
Oh, do you
Now
regret
as
it?
an
Okay.
adult, but there was reasons and things behind that, but as an adult I regret it.
Okay. So that's always like one of those questions that people get, in interviews is like, what's one thing you would go back and change? So would you go back and change that? Like you would do it differently?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I know the answer to this question, but for the people who don't know, do you have children?
Yes, I do.
And
I have
how are you handling that differently than it was handled with you? Like how do you handle school differently with your children versus the way it was handled with you?
my mother was very um lenient when it came to school, very like, you know what I mean, like whatever, like the difference between me and the way that I was brought up, I'm very involved. I'm very involved in my kids' school. Like, don't get me wrong, I could be the cool parent or whatever the case is, but one thing that I don't play with is their education
Yeah.
because I don't want them to end up like me. And as a parent, you want your kids to be better.
Right.
That's the goal. Be better than me.
And I think one of the again we've seen it on the lives like people have seen you on your lives interact with your children, and I,
Right.
I think you have kind of like one of the things that always stood out to me is your sense of humor, but the sense of humor you have even as a parent is
Yes.
like you're stern, and it's like I'm interested to see like if your children they're like okay she's playing but also she's serious right now, like how do they know the difference?
They know. Because once the eyebrow goes up, I'm like, yo, bro, like, stop it. They know. All
Yeah.
right, it's time to stop. Mommy's being serious now. But
Yeah, and
honestly, I'm blessed with good kids.
I think that is that. I mean, I'm kind of similar with my children in the sense that like I have a sense of humor, a great sense of humor, and I use my sense of humor as a way to still discipline them, but let them
Right.
know like I'm serious, but don't make me roundhouse you. Like obviously, I'm probably not gonna roundhouse you,
Right.
but at the same time,
Nah, nah,
you
nah. I'm with
you
it.
gotta you gotta go and get this done. Like let's go, right? So you have children. What is your what do you have? Boy and girl,
I
boys,
have a
girls,
boy and a girl. My
a boy
daughter's
and girl.
13,
The
and
one
my
you got
son
the you got the perfect one, two, done.
Right. Girl, boy, done.
Done.
No more. And my son is 8.
Okay, that's what's up. So what is the dynamic as a parent? Like, what has been the greatest and worst or most challenging thing about being a parent for you?
I
That's a
don't
deep.
know. Yeah, that's deep. I mean, for me as a parent, all I want my kids is to be happy. It doesn't matter what they choose in life, who they choose to be with, or anything. As long as my kids are happy, that's my goal. Happy and healthy, that's it. You
Yeah,
know?
I respect that, and especially like again, I'm a parent as well. Like I have four children of my own plus my bonus one, so we have five together, and for me, it actually is like one of my I feel like my greatest like accomplishments is being a parent. Like, although it's very
Absolutely.
easy to be a parent, to truly be a parent is not that easy, and I do think that I've got a lot of things wrong in life, but the one thing I do get right is being a parent. I think I do that part right.
Right. Right.
Hey, what's going on? But I think one of the challenges is finding the balance between being their friend and their parent. How do you deal with that?
Let me tell you something. I let my kids know firsthand. I am not their little friends.
Mm,
Do not, do not what you call it. I am not your little friend. Um, for me, my thing is my kids always to feel safe to come to me and talk to me. And I think now with my daughter being 13 and saying, you know what I mean? Like I talk to her like I don't talk to her like a child. I try to relate to her so she can understand and she could see. My son's little, so he's not gonna appreciate it. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it'll be my daughter will be in certain situations and I'll see certain friends that she's hanging out with or rocking with, and I'll be like, yo, they ain't your friends. They ain't your friends. And then when ish goes left and she'll be like, Ma, you was right. Like now my daughter's seeing like
Mm.
I'm not just telling you something, I'm telling you something because you're gonna see. You know what I mean?
I like what you said that you show her so she understands. Like, I think sometimes parents will sugarcoat certain things with their children and not realizing that we're not raising children. We're actually raising
Right.
men and women. Like, one day they're going to grow up to be a man. One day your daughter's going to grow up to be a woman. So
Right.
you do certain things now that in the next 5-10 years turns into a habit or a certain behavior. And if you're not doing that now, it's going to affect them long term.
You know what's crazy, and this is what always stood out in my head, like as my inspiration with my kids. I always said this to myself: your daughter is gonna be wanna be like you when she gets older, and your son's gonna wanna marry somebody like you. So I always watch how I am because you know what I'm saying. I want my kids to be
No,
better than
that's
me.
real because see, look, all right. So I've been raising boys, right? Like, and I've always thought that my sons are gonna want to be like me. So the things that I show them, the behaviors that I have, the manners, whatever I have, like I see
Right,
my sons pick those things up, and now
right,
my daughter is one, right? So it's a little bit different now that in the sense that what you just said is like now I have to behave in a way that what I instill in her now is going to be
right,
basically what she's going to look for in a man. Like,
right.
that's what, if she chooses that, but that's what she's going to look for in a man. Like, that's
Man,
going to
woman,
be
whatever.
right. But to me, it's all about the relationship and the behaviors.
Right.
I'm big on, like, if my kids see me doing certain things, those are behaviors that they're going to pick up on and they're going to continue.
Absolutely.
So in your case, having now a boy and a girl that are like of that age where they're kind of like maybe even starting to be interested in relationships or whatever, like friendships even, um, that
Hmm.
definitely, do you see that come into play? Like, have you
Oh,
seen it come into play?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially with my daughter now. You know what I'm saying? And I give her the best advice that I can. And I'm not listen, what I tell her is this: at the end of the day, be wise on what she does because, if she gets a name, it'll never go away. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like once if she puts herself out there in a certain way, it'll never go away. So just be mindful on how you present yourself,
Yeah.
you
What's
know?
good, D? And I actually, I'm my when we were talking about like the brother and sister dynamic. When you first said it, I actually thought about my sister. She's here now. My oldest sister. So she also has like one boy, one girl, and
Right,
I think like it's a challenge. I think that I guess for me, I've always had boys. Like I'm still trying to
right,
figure out what kind of dad am I gonna be to a girl. Like I still try to
right,
I look at it like how am I gonna do that. Certain things that I do with my sons, I'm probably gonna do because that's just my nature, like my way of being. Um, but I do treat like when I like my sister's kids, like even Serena's son, like they're like an extension of me, right? So I just treat them like my own
right,
as well.
right,
But it's funny because when you mentioned it before, I was like, oh, the only other person I know with the one boy one girl is my sister. But I think a lot of what the way you are is very similar. Like you guys have like a similar like I'm joking, but you better know that I'm serious as well. Like, and
right,
if you don't do it now, watch what's gonna happen
right.
if you don't do it
Because
now.
there's levels to this. You know
Right?
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you
Thank you.
can be calm, cool, collected, but for me, once that switch is turned on, there's
Mm-hmm.
no turning it off. And
Right.
they know that. Once mommy gets to a certain level, because she's been cool and been like, all right, whatever. But once you push me, that's
Yeah.
it. Like, it's a wrap for you.
So okay. So, what was your dynamic with your parents? Like, what was your relationship like with your mom? Well, you kind of mentioned it a little bit that mom was like working and stuff, but like, what was the relationship with your dad?
I mean, my dad was a provider. Like even after he left the household, he was still, you know what I'm saying, sending us checks every month. I still had, you know, when my mother couldn't deal with me and kicked me out, she was sending me to my dad's house. Like, so it wasn't that they were absent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
my mother was there. She did the best she could. You know what I'm saying? But it could have been better.
Mm.
It could have been better.
So do you think that because this is something like more talking about like the dynamic of like the parenting, um co-parenting, right? So like I my parents are divorced, right? And I think that my dad did his best, and I think overall a good job at it. There were things that I like as a parent that I started to look back at, like that I could question. But as an overall, like they did a good job at like co-parenting. Overall, there are some things again along the way that
Right.
now as someone who co-parents, I do those things differently.
Right.
Is there anything specifically that you do differently as a like co-parenting now with your
I mean,
ex maybe?
well, to be honest with you, I'm a single parent, like through and through. You know what I'm saying? My son's father unfortunately passed away,
Sorry for
and
your loss.
then it's good. It's like,
Hmm.
and then my daughter's father, he's doing whatever the hell he wants to do, which is fine. Because to be honest with you, I'd rather keep that toxic ish away
Okay.
than, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there was a reason why I left, because I didn't want to repeat cycles. Like me leaving my daughter's father was because I didn't want my daughter to grow up and think that how mommy and daddy interacted was normal and then repeat that when she got older.
Which
So
some
I
people
made
don't
the
realize.
choice.
Some people don't realize that that's what happens. Like that, your children are witnessing either the arguments every day,
Right.
or mommy coming home upset and annoyed or whatever, and daddy reacting to that. Like those little things are behaviors that will shape their
Yeah,
perception of the way a relationship
absolutely.
should be, and they think that that's normal. So
I think for
you
me,
knew
my
early on
thing
that
is,
that was something you didn't want.
right. And I think for me, it was to teach my kids independence. Like, I didn't need a man to make me who I am. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm.
And that was for my daughter. And for my son, it, I don't need, like, I didn't want him to, I basically wanted him to find somebody better than me, but to see, like, yo, my mom did it on her own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to, I'm going to do the same ish type
Right.
of thing. It's
Yeah. So
independence for my
and I
kids.
think that's one of the things that like, again, a little bit about my story, sort of that, in my with my children and their mothers, um, you know, we when we did decide to split, we always made a point, and honestly, like I made that a point because I know what I went through. that I didn't want that for them, that co-parenting was very important.
Right.
And for years, like my son was, even now he's 12 now, and with his mother, like we basically he doesn't ever, like he doesn't have any memory of me being with his mother, right? Like there's no
Right.
memory there because we
Right.
split very early. So for him, I think that he sees our relationship as like this is what a healthy friendship looks like not a
Right.
relationship but a friendship,
Right.
because he'll come to my house like when it's my weekend. He comes over and he's like, "Oh, Dad, I don't know if Mom told you, but," and like he'll be uncomfortable about telling me something, and I could see it in his body language, and then it's like, "Oh no, Mom told me already." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we talked the other day, and she told me about that. Like she already know." He's like, "Oh, you're not mad?" And I'm like, "No, like Mommy told me, she explained to me what happened and whatever it is." But like he knows that like our relationship is that, like there's no hiding anything. Like that is
Right.
what a healthy
I
co-parenting relationship should be.
I wish for on my end with my daughter's father it was like that, but he has a lot of bitterness. And
Mm,
like I always like to say, let's not be bitter, let's be better. And sometimes it's okay not having to co-parent.
mm.
Sometimes it's best for all not having to co-parent, because the whole back and forth, it really does affect the child.
Right. So
So
I think you're that would be the perfect scenario of when co-parenting probably is not an
right.
option, sort of, right?
Right.
In the perfect world, or like in a place where you can make that a priority, or make
Right.
that as important as you can, great. Um, but when you can't, then you just do your best,
You can't.
and you do your best to also, and this is I think something that I'm very big on as well. Like you shouldn't bash the other parent ever to make your child
Right.
feel a certain type of way, but also you should be able to point out certain things at a certain point with your child about their, the other parent, that they need to
Right.
be mindful of, that thing is not healthy, or like
Exactly.
it happens with my son too, like my oldest
I'm
son,
not
like
gonna
that
lie.
happens.
I'm not gonna lie. There was situations where I did, but I was so frustrated because it's like, how are you not seeing this? But I kind of forgot she was a child. Do you get what I'm saying? And
Right, because
sometimes
you
what
got
we
it.
think is so easy.
As parents, we think the common thing is like common sense, right? But
Right.
the reality is that
Common isn't always
it's not. There's
common.
no. And I always say there's no such thing as common sense, especially when you're talking about children. See, like, I'm gonna use my upbringing as an example. So there would be times that I had to, like, I don't know, clean the yard, throw out the garbage, certain things that my dad wanted me to do, or my mom. It happened on both sides. So they want me to do whatever this chore is or this task is, but I've never seen anybody do it. They just say go and do it, and then it's like, okay, I'll go and do that thing, right? Whatever that thing is, and then it's like, why did you do it like that? And I'm like, I don't know. You told me to do it, and I did it my best. That was the best version of what I
There
knew
was
to do.
no example
Right? There was no
to do
exactly.
it.
There was no
They just
example
threw
of
you out there.
go. And now with my children, I'm very big on, like, I'm not gonna call them out on something or expect them to do something a certain way if I personally did not teach them or take the time to show them. And I think that's again more of a graceful kind of like way of being a parent.
It's basically like just taking your kid to a pool and just throwing them in the pool and saying, swim.
Right. Which is the way I learned how to swim, honestly. So my uncle was like, go ahead,
Oh
jump
my,
in the
oh
deep end.
my
And I
God,
didn't know it
I
was the
am
deep end.
so sad for
And then
you right now.
and then
This explains
he
so
was just like
much.
he was like, go ahead, jump. Go ahead. Go ahead. And then I'm like, okay, you're gonna get me in, okay. And I think I was like 7 years
Right.
old the first time I jumped in, and you're doing it. Like it was
I
like you're
think we're
doing
gonna
it.
need a part two to Tim's Tuesday, your story, because now we're diving into things that I'm
This
like,
is throughout you're gonna learn. You're gonna
it
learn.
makes sense. See, this is not okay, guys. This
See,
is
my
not
sisters know.
okay.
That's the way I think we all probably learned the same exact way. My sisters are in the comments too. They could verify, like, this is what happened. Like that's the way we learned how to swim. Probably not the best way to learn how to swim. It's a little traumatizing. But it's one of those things that, like, it never happens again. It only happens once. But that's probably why I have trust issues.
I feel you.
You
I
sure
would
you got
have
me?
trusted.
You sure
Right,
you got me?
right.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna jump,
believe you.
but I don't
I
trust
would
you.
have trust issues too if I'm being thrown into a lake and saying swim.
Yeah. So okay, so that's just a perfect point in parenting for everybody who is a parent that may still have some of these cycles that we picked up from our parents or family members and things like that. This is not a healthy way of doing things.
Right.
The
This is
better the
not the
better
right way.
the better approach is saying, "Hey, let me show you. This is what you're going to want to do," and
Right.
not just, you know, that
You know
way.
what I mean? We're
Look,
just trying to help
my
you
mom
out,
says
guys.
stop.
Right, Ma. You see, you know what I mean?
It is a way of doing it, but I
Right.
think there are better ways to parent or teach someone how to swim. So
Let's just
there's
not
that.
throw our kids in the river or whatever the case is, because
Figure it out. You got
you know
this.
what I mean?
Yeah, we came out okay. I mean,
That's
and
what
I think
I
even
say.
even in your case, like you turned out okay, right?
That's what I tell them. That's what I tell my family. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
I had the good old wooden spoon, and I think I
The
turned out
good
all
old,
right.
yeah.
You know those big wooden spoons? Clunk.
We had some other things that like not my mom. So I
Some
will say my mom was just like a hand type person. Like she ain't gonna go
gave
get
you,
like
she
my
gave
mom's
you the
street.
old
Yeah,
hand.
my mom's street. She's gonna hit you with the
Give you a
what?
little slap back.
She's not
Da, da,
picking
da,
nothing
da.
up. She's going hand with it. Like it's gonna be a quick smack, pop, pop. Like it's quick.
You know what I'm
My
saying? Like
dad,
a
on the other hand, military dude. He had a tough upbringing as well. Um, yeah. So my sister put it. I'm not gonna say it. My sister put it in the comments. But that type of you can scroll a little bit.
right.
Um,
I sure
but
am.
my
You know
yeah,
my
we
nosy
and
ass.
here's another thing that happened for us. So we were disciplined as a unit. Like if one of us did something, we all got in trouble for it. Like to the point where like if I got in trouble and my sisters like knew about it or like could have stopped it, they also got hit when I got hit. Like that
It
was
was
one of the things. Like that's probably the
get
reason
one,
why.
get all.
Yeah. We all gonna get it.
You know,
So
might as well.
but it honestly the way we are now with each other is like, all right, well, you going to get into that situation, I have to come because when you get home, I'm gonna get in trouble anyway. So we might as well get in trouble
Might
together.
as well.
Like, yeah, we might as well. Like, it's just the way.
I mean, we're already starting. Let's finish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
might
exactly.
as
Like,
well.
we have like, I think it forced us to have like a sixth sense about when the other one or one of us was going through something or getting in trouble
Right.
or anything like that. Like we had this sixth sense. Like, oh,
The good old PTSD.
word, the PTSD connected us. Like it made
You
us.
know what I'm saying? The good
The
old. That's
PTSD
my
united
vibe.
us, which is I think why we are the way we are. Now to this day. So do you have siblings?
I have my mother had 10 kids,
Whoa, very different than my family.
and I'm number 9.
So you're almost the baby of the family.
Almost, almost the
Almost. You just
baby.
almost had it.
Just made it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm technically all right. So my mom and dad, there's 3 of us, and then my dad remarried and he had a son, but his son is the same age as my oldest son. So I don't ever I know I have a little brother, but for me he's more like the age of one of my nephews. Like he's the age of what my nephew could be.
I
Actually, I do
understand
have
that.
a nephew that is that age. So that's I'm the baby. You know what I mean?
I
Like
have a niece. I have a niece that's only like 3 years, 4 years older than me. So it's
okay.
crazy
So
when we go out.
what's the age gap from all your siblings? Like there's 10 of you. Like what's the oldest to the youngest?
I want to say the oldest is about 50. The
Oldest is
oldest is
50.
50, and then the youngest is 36.
Oh, so your parents was they was up there a
Not
little bit.
parents. My mother and my father had 3 girls together. Then the
Okay.
rest, that was my mother's business.
That was your mom.
But
Okay, so mom
I
was
was
okay.
raised. I was raised in a household of 5.
5. That so of the five, you were the second to last of the 5.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's so how and what's the age difference between you and your youngest is a girl? Your
Yep.
youngest?
It's my sister. We're a year and 2 days apart.
A year and 2 days. So are you guys
So
close?
not at all.
No? Oh.
No.
Ugh. I was
You know
gonna
what I'm
say I
saying?
would expect that to
You
be the
know,
case, but were you younger? Like when you were younger, were you guys close, and then something just happened and
we were very close. We were very close when we were younger. Like, and it's kind of crazy because if anybody saw us, they would assume we were twins. Even now, they would people would think that we were twins. But no, honestly, unfortunately, in that situation, no, we don't talk. We don't have a relationship,
okay,
and sometimes it's better off.
right?
Sometimes you have to let toxic family members go.
Yeah, we talked about relationships, but in the sense of like significant other. But even when it comes to any type of relationship, even siblings,
Right.
blood or not, like family, whatever, cousins, whatever it is, you have to have the know-how or the ability to also cut them off as well when it's
Right.
toxic or something
Right.
that's not suiting
Just
you
be,
anymore.
and that's what people don't understand, or it's not that they don't understand. I feel like people feel like they have an obligation because it's family that they're supposed to stick with them. But for me personally, I made my own family. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, like just because you're my family, I'm not gonna allow you to treat me a certain type of way.
Right.
So that's why they got the good old cutoff,
The
the
good
good old
old you're
see
out
you
of here.
later.
And okay, so part of what I've noticed again with the way you are and you're like, why'd you make that face? Now I want to see the comment. Um, I love you from far. So one of the things that I personally noticed, again, I'm going back to your personality, and again the way that you are, you like you said, you actually said before, what you see is what you get, and I think that's real honest in your case. I know people say that, but I could testify that it is true. And my thing is when because you said something just now, you said you made your family. Do you look at like your friends and like people that you choose, like do you look at it as like you're
Absolutely,
choosing your family?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I find to be very fortunate that the people that I chose are amazing to me and uplift me because in certain times I feel like I didn't have that with my family. So now I'm very choosy on who I keep around. And honestly, I feel like that's why I am the way I am with people because I know what it's like to feel alone. So if you come on TikTok and you come converse with me, you know what I mean? I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel like, yo, that's Crystal. She on here. You know what I mean? Like,
So actually, that's a you literally gave me like a layup for an interview. Like that's like a perfect segue to. I know you are like basically gearing up to like launch. You've been doing it already, and I know you've been like kind of like
doing
playing around with
already.
the idea
Right.
for a while, and you've been doing it. But let's talk a little bit about what is it, Rachel After Dark.
Rachel After
Let's
Dark.
talk about Rachel After Dark a little bit. What's the origin story of Rachel? You're Crystal, right? So what is the
Right.
origins of Rachel After Dark?
Okay. So this is a good story. So I was in a live, and when I was in this live, you know, people in the boxes, and one person that I truly love, like she has an infectious personality. You know what I mean? So
She's here.
when, oh, is she?
She's
Hey,
here.
what up, baby? When she was when she was in the live or whatever the case is, she got mad excited. She was like, "Yo, Rachel's here," and I'm like, "Yo," in my head, cause like I fuck with her, like she mad dope. I was like, "Oh, who's Rachel?" Like in my head, I'm like, "Who's Rachel?" So the person that I was in his live, he turns around and he was like, "Yo, you mean Crystal?" So start laughing because she immediately goes, "Oh," she was like, "I hope she didn't hear me." So then I wrote in the comments, "Yo, I heard you." So ever since then, it stuck. That's my name. After like 10, 11 o'clock, Rachel
Rachel
comes
comes out.
out. It's a whole different personality, whole different.
So
Right,
that's what I was gonna.
Queen? She in here.
That's what I was gonna say. So technically, there is a difference between Crystal and Rachel. So
Right.
in your own words, or like, what is the difference between the two? What would we expect from Rachel that we wouldn't get from Crystal?
Nah, I think Rachel and Crystal's the same person, but I feel like when Rachel comes out, everybody's getting wild. Everybody's letting their hair down. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
it's just fun, free. You know, when
It's
you
like
come
Rachel's the
into
host of the party. She's like
right,
the
this it's basically who I turn into at family parties.
okay.
Basically, you know what I mean? When I got that drink in me or whatever the case is, then I'm all over the place. That's what it is.
Okay. So, hey, what's up, man? So okay, so we're talking about Rachel After Dark. So it's one of those things like it's after hours. We talked specifically already, like you created a space of like comfort, like people could feel comfortable there. So
Right.
for those who haven't experienced it yet, and now that you're going to the point of like really launching Rachel After Dark, I saw the promo video. Um,
Yes, the
so
your
talk to me
sister
about
did
that.
that. First of all, the promo was amazing. It was done by the beautiful Serena. So
Shout out to my sister,
thank you for that.
Awakening Faith, for the promo videos.
Um
Hit her in the
basically
inbox.
when you go into Rachel After Dark, is basically going out without having to go out. You're
Mm.
hanging out in the comfort of your own home. You're able to laugh, have a few drinks. You know what I mean? I want you to go in there feeling like, yo, you're gonna have a good time tonight. You're not gonna get judged. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna joke, we're gonna have a good time. You could be stupid with me, silly with me. That's just basically Rachel After Dark. Sometimes it gets a little naughty. I can't help it. It's just where
21 and
the
over.
room goes. You know
21
what I
and
mean?
over to
21 and
the
over,
Rachel
please.
After Dark.
And but yeah, that's basically what I want and what it seems to have gone into.
Yeah.
Um not no, that would be OnlyFans, buddy. But yeah, no, like honestly, that's what I want Rachel After Dark to be, and that's what I try to push. And I just want people to feel safe and comfortable.
Yeah, and I think I mean from what I've seen, again, even when you're just in other people's lives, and the fact that you've had, I think in I gauge success differently than most people.
Right.
So I think that in the conversations that you and I have had about being content creators, or what is your future look like as a content creator, I'm always like, yo, it's your personality that is your product. So I actually look forward to seeing what Rachel After Dark does, for you, your brand, your growth as a
Mm.
content creator. The fact that I know now that you had this creative background, like you were doing the singing thing, and you had that music background. I think you should find a way to channel some of that into the content that you put out, because I think at some point as adults, we get to a point that a lot of the things that brought us joy or happiness or things like that as a kid, we kind of start, that's not that important. Or, we kind of brush it off as just like, oh, it's a hobby or whatever, which is cool because our hobbies are what make us happy though. Like
Right.
what brings you joy? Like what does Crystal find joy in?
Honestly, you guys.
Us? Like the group?
You guys,
The
like, yeah, the group, like the whole group that we created, like what we're trying to push out there, like y'all make me happy. It's like I talk to you guys every day, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Yo, shout out to the gang. Shout out to the
you know what I'm
fam.
saying? Shout out to all of us. It's I don't like to call it. I don't like to use the word followers because to me, I don't like that word. You're not following me. Y'all my people. It's like it's them.
Yeah.
It's them. It's them that are always so warm and opening, and like it's the I get hit in the DM like, yo, you made my day. You made me laugh. Like it's them. Like they keep me going.
Yeah.
They keep besides my kids, but they
But
keep me
it's
going.
cool because I could say the same. Like even for us, like me and Jess, like we've definitely have felt like our family grew. Like like Jessica
Hmm.
moved out here from Florida, so like she didn't really have a network of people or family like that up here. Like her
The
sister
same thing
lives
over
like
here.
a
Right.
pretty far, not far, but like a ride away.
Right.
So for us, it does feel like that as well. So like, I think it's really cool that, and what I like about this too is that it continues to grow. Like,
Right.
it's something like when you have your normal, your family, like your blood family
Right.
stuff, like that's pretty set. And as it grows, children are added to the family and things like that. And I feel like that's kind of the way our family grows. Like, we have new people that
Right.
have like kind of been brought in. Um, Most recently that come to mind immediately is Mr. Cheese and G the Beautiful.
How can you not love
Shout out
them?
to them. They're always rocking with us, and I want to say that here. We do
They
appreciate
deserve the
it,
shout out.
and we got to take our relationship to the next level, whatever that means, and we'll figure that out. But I think that is, I love that you said that, because I think that is something that is, that is important to, as you grow, as we get older and we grow apart from our old friends or our childhood friends and things
Right.
like that, life,
Right.
whatever. But that doesn't mean that we can't get new friends. Like, that doesn't mean we can't
Right.
have new family
It
members or
just goes
pick
to
them.
show you that you never stop growing. I just turned 37. Like, and look at us, like we're sitting here and we're actually building real friendships and real bonds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, like at that point you think that you would like you'd be able to trust people or whatever the case is. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, honestly, like this whole TikTok, when it's done for the right reasons and the right way, this could be a really dope platform. And I think that's
Yep.
where I'm at, where I'm always with the positivity and always with the jokes and all that other stuff. Like, like I don't think they understand that when they're around or when they pop up in my room, or if we're in somebody else's room and we see them, like how happy it makes me feel.
Yeah.
Like they the ones that boost me up. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just like I am who I am, and I believe personally, I believe in what you put out is what you're gonna get in life. So I always try to be the positive one and push out a few laughs, because you never know what somebody's going through, and
Amen.
you know what I mean. It
And
doesn't hurt to
I think
fucking
that's
laugh. You think?
something for everybody. That's a great like thing to take away too. Like, we never really know what anybody's going through. So like, sometimes
Right,
we immediately jump to a conclusion about the behavior, or somebody's acting a certain way, like,
right,
oh, they ain't rocking with us no more, or whatever. We don't
right,
realize that one day they could have been having something going on, and their behavior is different,
right,
or they start acting a little different because something changed in their life, and in their life, and it's not something that they're talking about, or they're not openly or
right,
comfortable talking about it. So it's not really one of those things that they're going to be out here shouting about it and telling everybody. But ultimately, like, everybody's going through something, and for everybody it's something different. So have that grace in your heart, have that know-how to be like, what, let me give them a pass. Let their actions, not this one time, like, over time, pay attention. And I'm not saying be a sucker and don't get taken as a fool, but at the same time, be mindful enough to let
right.
me watch this a little bit more. Let me see how this unfolds. Don't jump to conclusions. I think that's a great way to look at it. And you're right. When we never stop growing, like, as
Right.
adults, like, recently my dad, we were in a group chat with my dad, and this is one person that I personally thought had stopped growing a long time ago. Like, I was like, this guy's set in his ways. He's never gonna
Right.
change, and I accept him for who he is. And in the group chat, Serena had put something, and then my Demetra said something. So we're all, whatever, we're conversating. Um, I think we're talking about something about our upbringing or something that happened, as kids. And he said something like, that's the reason why I do things differently now. And we're
Right.
always growing, we're always learning, like one of
It
those. And
was
I
the
was like,
acknowledgement. It was the
bro,
acknowledgement.
yeah,
I
it was
know.
like, he was like, I'm still growing now. And I'm like, oh my, like, that to me was amazing, that he acknowledged it and he said it. And I was like, yo, that's so cool. Like, that was like a
Because
new lesson for me. You know what I mean? Like, even though I believe that, and I always, but to see that the man that I look up to is saying that, like, it was like solidifying, like stamping it, like, yes,
no,
we never
and I
stop.
can understand that, because with my daughter, I feel like, because I was 22. You know what I mean? And at 22, you think you know everything, but you don't. And like I recently told my daughter, and I acknowledged the fact I was harder on her than my son, because you know what I'm saying. Like, I was a new mom. I
Right.
didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And I gave her that, and I'm like, yo, like I'll apologize to her, or she'll understand that. So I get that, I get that on a deep level.
Yeah. So that's dope. Man, like I always have these questions, and then I feel like
Right.
I
All
must be
right. So
picking.
let's.
No,
All
no, no.
right. So
I
let's
must be
just.
picking the best guests to do this with because I end up having stuff prepared
Right.
and I never have to actually go to it. Like we have already been rocking for just a little like right at the hour mark. I'm gonna look at my
All right. Take
just
a
to see if there
little
was anything
razzle dazzle.
specific that
See
I felt like
if we left
um
anything out.
no I it's crazy like I prefer the organic just talk and kick it and whatever comes up and not having to refer to the notes. So I'm glad we did this. I think the one thing that I always want to make sure that I convey in doing these lives and this series Tim's Tuesday is that to the people watching. I know where we're at. I've been watching is like somewhere around 15 people or so, something up around that amount. My thing is that even if one person sees this story or hears the story and recognizes that
Yeah.
they're not the only ones going through what they're going through. We're all going through something, but we're not the only ones going through it. There are other people out there going through it. So I hope that
Absolutely.
in the diverse group of people that I'll bring in through this series, the one thing that you take away is that we're all going through something, but we're not the only ones going through it. So continue to push, continue to find things that make you happy, continue to set boundaries, continue to do all of those things because as you've seen here today with Crystal, although she's had her challenges, she's finding the ways to continue to grow and finding her ways to continue to be the amazing person that you see here in front of you today. Um, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page. This live will be uploaded tomorrow on the YouTube page. Um, what else? I do have some last minute things that I'm gonna go into in a second. But before I even go into the shout outs and all of that, Crystal, talking to you directly. I'm gonna not
What
look at the comments for
happened?
a second. I just want to thank you for your time. Right, time is one thing that we cannot get back. You spent an hour here with me, and although we are family, we rock with each other. It still does take a lot to share your story. So I truly appreciate you doing this. This series has been something that I've been wanting to do for years. So the fact that I'm doing it and the people are taking the time to participate, thank you so much for that. And thank you to everybody
Oh,
who checked in today, who watched live, and for anybody who is gonna watch this later. I appreciate you taking the time. Again, time is the one commodity that we can never get back. No matter how much money, no matter what, we can never get the time that we share with each other, that we spend with each other back. So I
right.
truly appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything that you want to leave off with before we do our final checkouts? Anything you want to say?
Nah, I just want to say you guys are all dope. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'll always be here. And make sure you check me out. When do I do it? Fridays, right?
Oh, I got it. Don't
Yeah.
even worry about it. I got you.
And I love all y'all. Y'all dope as shit. You know what I mean? Your girls always here. You dig.
You
And
dig. So,
you know what
so
I
the
mean?
so actually, and I actually was gonna do the quick little like drop almost for the well, before when I brought up the promo video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was like, how can I bring in the video? Like I was literally trying to think of a way that I could almost show your Rachel After Dark video. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
that
just
was cute. You tried it.
but I'm gonna just
You tried it.
pull it up for those who are still here checking it out. You
I
could go
just
check out the
can't.
video about the new series live event every Friday 10 p.m. You could go check it out. It's a dope video.
I'm
Um,
saying.
but that's happening Friday nights. So tap in for that. I have a few other ones that I want to do a quick little plug for the fam and the people rocking with us. So we have a pretty stacked. I don't know if you've ever taken notice, Crystal, or anybody else in here. We have a pretty stacked. It's almost like a program, right? Like if we were a
Do we
network,
now?
we have a pretty stack. I'm gonna run this down for you real quick. So Mondays we got Mystic Mondays with Awakening Faith at 1:11 p.m. Eastern. This is all Eastern Standard Time. Makeup Mondays with Janine, or it's underscored Anine, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Sometimes known as NA, but
And
go ahead.
music game night with DJ Big Lou 2G at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's just Monday. Tuesdays, locked in with your boy. Tim's Tuesday with your boy, right? 7 p.m. Um, starting March 1st. So this is a coming soon type of thing right here. Starting March 1st, we have Mom and Ain't Easy with Queen of Bad Moms, 7:30 p.m. starting March 1st. So you got to check in for that. Mark your calendars for that. That's coming soon. This series here, Witch Out Wednesdays with Awakening Faith. This has been rocking, and if you haven't tapped into this, you need to tap in. It's at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tap into the live. I promise, if you stick your, it could get a little intense, but if you rock through it, I promise when you're done,
It's
you're
a
gonna
good
go to
time.
sleep. It's gonna be the best sleep you've ever had. If not ever, it's gonna be the sleep that you
And
needed.
we're not saying it's boring. You just
No,
have to
I'm
tune in
talking
to see
about
what we're
you're
talking
gonna
about.
leave with a lighter heart. Your soul, your spirit is gonna be just a vibe.
We'll
Like,
be
come rock
lifted.
out, and you need to experience it at least once. That's what I'm gonna say. So that's Witch Out Wednesdays.
I love you,
Um,
Gene.
Thursday nights. All right, coming soon to Thursday nights. All right, we're gonna start a series called Taboo Thursdays. All right, me and Jessica
Ooh,
are starting our Taboo Thursdays. All right. Why do we
our
call it
favorite
Taboo Thursdays? No,
TikTok
we're not playing the game
couple.
Taboo. We're not playing the game Taboo. It's taboo things that are not talked about in relationships. It's taboo things that within a couple, within a single individual, as a parent, as all these different things and hats that Jessica and I wear. These are things that are not talked about regularly, and we're trying to open conversations to some of those things. So we're going to be talking about all types of those things that we face as a couple, as parents, and we're going to open that conversation up to other couples and other parents, so we can have a dialogue about taboo conversations.
I think
So
it's
that's coming soon.
amazing. I think that's dope. For the simple fact is, I kind of get to experience you guys off of here, so
Uh-huh.
that you guys are bringing it to TikTok. I think
Yeah.
it's actually pretty dope.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you guys all tap into that as well. So that's Thursday. Then we also got, look, I'm only on Thursday. Like,
Look, guys, we're
Friday comes
bringing
a
you the
for real.
entertainment.
Like, this is a real live, like, tap in with all of us if you are not. If you're in the comments still, make sure you say I'm so and so and that's my show, so people know to follow you and people know to hit the notification button. Don't just follow, hit the notification button so you know when it's happening. I'm on Friday. So Flawless Friday is with underscore Janine at 7 p.m. And then
That's my girl.
Janine also
She's
kicking
getting
up.
you
Yo, she
right,
is not
right
playing around.
before, right you after dark.
Starting on Sunday after the Super Bowl. So don't tap in this Sunday. It's after the Super Bowl. Skincare Sunday with Janine at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we got something for everybody. Oh my God. I actually didn't put club. I don't know why I didn't put club spot. I think I was typing too many things. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate you, Lou. I'm glad I was looking. Thursday nights, 11, right? I'm not wrong. I'm not gonna ask you, Janine.
You're
I'm
like
not gonna
me,
ask you,
not
Crystal.
remembering the
I,
time.
I'm seeing Janine like I'm on Mondays,
Yeah,
Fridays, and Sundays. Like I'm reading the comments. So I don't know why I didn't put that in Club the
it's all
Spot.
right.
You got it. You know the time.
Club the Spot is 11 Eastern.
Okay. And I just
That I know. For the simple
for
fact is
those of you
when
who don't know,
it
go
gives you
ahead.
the whole experience of going to the club without actually having to leave your house.
It's all
So
about
for
that
us single mothers,
experience.
it's actually a dope experience. You never know
For
who's gonna pop
for
in.
us parents like Jessica and I, we love tapping into that because we get to rock out with the baby. Like we be having Journey in here partying with us at Club the Spot. So it's a perfect way to, if you one of those people that you just, ever since things changed up a little bit, you just ain't out there like that, just like us, tap in. That's the best way to get that dance on with us.
I mean,
Wait, we
how
got
dope
Sunday
is
now?
it, right? Listen, how dope is this? On Friday, we get what you call it.
We get
Friday's
flawless.
popping because you're basically
Flawless.
getting taught by Janine how to do your makeup to show up to Rachel
10 p.m.
after dark.
Rachel After
And
Dark.
then on
Friday.
Sunday, because after all the weekend madness or whatever, she's teaching you how to take care of your skin,
That's right.
keeping it right and
Get it right.
tight
Tap
for
in.
the remainder of the week.
Look, and then what happened? So Sunday you went through all of that. You got cleaned up. You got your face right. You got your
You
skincare
know what I'm
right.
saying?
And then Monday at 1:11 p.m., Serena gets your spirit right. Come on, man. Like,
Right.
it's a whole, all around package, man. We got the
Like
entertainment,
like we take care of
everything you
your
need.
lives.
We a one-stop
Not
shop.
your lives.
All of that.
Your lives.
Your lives and your lives. All of that.
Right. We're in it to win it, guys.
Tap in with us, man.
And
This is
just
this is the,
remember,
the
we're nothing
perfect
without
full
you guys.
circle.
You dig? Because of you,
That's
we're
right.
here right now.
You
Because of
dig.
you, we're entertaining you.
That's right. We
We're
appreciate it.
nothing without you guys.
Oh, talking about self-love and yo, let's go.
That's
Okay, I see you.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
Sada ain't popping up with it. Let's go. Hey, so I gave you a full rundown. You could always, if you missed it at all, tomorrow this live will be posted on my YouTube page. The link is in my bio. Go subscribe to my page. I'm trying to get my TikTok popping. I'm trying to get my YouTube popping. So definitely follow along. Mount Olympus Stand Up. We doing this thing, and we're gonna continue to do. We're gonna continue to grow as individuals and as a group and as a family, as a community. Thank you everybody who tapped in today, to
Thank you
our
guys.
our
Thank you.
followers and new people who followed, or it's just passing through. We truly appreciate it. Every 20 seconds. Oh,
And just
take
thank you guys, and make sure you catch your girl
appreciate it.
Friday
Tap
nights.
tap
You
tap.
dig? Come
Friday
hang out
nights.
with
Don't
me a
forget.
little
Next
bit.
time
Let's
you
get
want to
wild and
see
crazy.
Rachel After Dark, aka Crystal. Tap in on Friday 10 p.m.
I love you too.
Thank you, everyone. I truly appreciate it. I realize that when I cut this off, sometimes it cuts off abruptly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of leave it off. I'm not gonna say nothing for 20 seconds. And Serena just said, everybody tap the screen. So let's tap the screen for 20 seconds, and then I'm gonna hit it so that it's a clean cut at the end. Good night, everybody. Thank you for rocking with us. Crystal, thank you again.
Yeah, I love you guys. You guys are dope. Every
20
single one of you.
seconds.
Yeah, you
Check
dig?
me out. I'm gonna just do this.